What's next for you, Chris?
Well, I don't. It's kind of in a weird position right now. I don't have anything that I'm signed up for, so I wouldn't say I have the post race blues, but it does feel odd not having any triathlons on the calendar. I've got is it the paramedics?
WFPS.
Yeah, I've got that coming up, and I think that's in October, but I don't have anything that I'm building for right now, so it does feel kind of weird. I'm still going to continue doing the training because I really enjoy it and I want to continue to get better. But other than that, this winter, probably gonna, buy myself a cheater bike and then maybe a power meter and start
You need a
planning
power
out
meter.
start planning out next year.
Charlie, I want to ask you a question about this specific topic because how much do you like training when you don't have a race? And can you comment on this point that Chris is making, how you feel about that? Because you like to train for a race or you don't care, or what's your preference?
I always have a race.
Yeah.
I don't know how it feels. I've always had.
Mm-hmm.
I like the two actually. I usually leave after big races. I usually leave 2 or 3 weeks where I'm like, kind of just do whatever I want. So that's kind of a different feeling, and I like to have it every once in a while. But at the same time, I always have a race. So
yeah,
you're lining up like multiple races out, aren't you? Like
I'm already planning my A race for two. I've already got like next year is going to be Boston and Chicago.
Yeah,
and also a 25K swim. No, sorry, 15K swim, maybe.
Okay, do it in the Pinawa River downstream.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm the same way, Simo. Like I'm a little different than Charlie in that I get back, I start to get the blues, I sign up for a race, or at least I make up my mind as to what my next race is going to be, or at least the general area or vicinity. Like I know I'm going to do my 7 marathon, 7 days, 7 continents, and I know I'm going to do a backyard or like 100 miler in like February, March, somewhere in there. I know I want to do 1 Ironman next year. I know I want to, depending on how this marathon goes in Chicago, I want to probably do another marathon build because this is so fun right now. This marathon build.
Yeah.
So fun.
I love training for marathons. It's just that
God.
It's not sustainable to do it all the time, I don't think. But
and it's tough training for marathons and having to bike all the time as well. Like not impossible, but it's a fine balance for sure.
Yeah. When I train for a marathon, I don't bike at all. I just run. I just run every day, and I run lots. And it's very to me it's low stress, even though you're getting lots of miles.
Because it's all aerobic, right? You're not doing a ton of speed work at that point.
Right now,
do a little bit.
Oh, a little bit, okay.
But it's mostly base aerobic work. Yep, I'd say 80%.
80%, yeah. And Rob, you're looking at doing an Ironman next year?
I think you guys have got me thinking that I should probably do another one. And now that I've learned so much about biking from my brother, cheater this, cheater that, cheater socks, cheater wheels, cheater.
You gotta have stronger legs is also a thing that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
just throwing out chirps like aggressively, eh? Wow.
I gotta be good at something.
That one hurt deep.
But I gave you a compliment about the 6:30, 11K. What was it? 11K triathlon?
12.5K. And they didn't even tell us. So I'm running, and there's no sorry, I don't want to chirp this race. It was a great race, but it was a little light on awareness, spatial awareness, and questions. We weren't allowed to ask questions about the race. So I was like, where's the turnoff? What am I doing here in the run? And they just follow everyone else. I'm like, there's a chance I'll be in first place. So I'm running and I'm doing the math in my head. I'm like, I have to go all the way there and I have to go all the way back. Is it 2 loops? So finally I ask a volunteer, how many loops of this course is it? And it's like, it's all the way there, all the way back, all the way there, and then all the way back. And I'm like, that's going to be like 13K. That makes no sense. That can't be right. That can't be right. It's probably shorter. And then as I'm doing it, I'm kind of pushing for 10K, right? And then I've realized it probably is going to be 13K. So I just have to throw on those 2K.
So you had your PB in the 12K. That's a
I had a
common
PB
distance.
in the 12. It's a common distance that people want a PB in, to the 12K.
I mean, an extra 2 or 3 kilometers when you're pacing for 10K, like that's kind of a kick to the jump.
One of the things that's incredible though is like you always think that you go all out and then like you finish a race and you have no energy, but whenever you have like that extra 500 meters, it ends up that you can probably go harder for another 500 meters, right?
Yeah,
it's like you have that potential in your brain that you just need to unlock it somehow.
Yeah,
I wonder what 100%. My governor did for that. If my governor said like kind of slow down, you got 13K, or if I just wasn't going full speed.
Did you negative it or did you have
I did negative it. I negatived it, yeah.
So there you go.
That's incredible.
No, I felt really freaking good on Sunday, and I didn't tell Patrick about the race, and I told him I wouldn't have any more distractions till Chicago, but I wanted to do this race. It's so fun. Charlie, you missed the part where we talked about how fun races are in this episode. Yeah. It's so fun to do a race. Like, it's so fun. Anyways, so I did the triathlon. I told him like the morning of, hey, just so you know, I'm doing a triathlon tomorrow. I might do a triathlon tomorrow. Olympic distance. And then I finished it, and he's like, how do you feel? I said, I feel awesome. I said, I'll do my fast finish tomorrow. And I was expecting him to say, don't worry about the fast finish. You just did 12K in like 4 minutes per kilometer. Like, that's your fast finish for the week. We'll just go back to the regular week. He's like, yeah, if you're feeling good, do the fast finish tomorrow. So I was like, yes, he's letting me do a 14K fast finish on the Monday, 14 miles with a fast finish on the Monday.
And how did you feel the next day running?
I felt good. I felt pretty good. I mean, I ran outside in the heat. I mean, it wasn't as tight as it was the day before, clearly.
Still, though, that's quick recovery. That's big. That's a good turnaround.
But today it was, an easy 40K.
But I think that comes. He's been doing lots and lots of miles, and I think the more miles you do, the easier the recovery gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that this is the best I've felt in terms of recovery.
But just keep in mind, Rob, as your big brother,
I'm listening.
You still got like 12 weeks till the marathon, so don't peak too early.
It's not 12 weeks, Charlie. It's like, when is Chicago Marathon? You must know, Charlie.
It's October 20th.
October 13th. So if I pull up a calendar,
so 9 weeks away. So
2 months to the day.
Yeah, so you still got 5 more weeks, 6 more. You don't want to peak.
7, right? Yes, 5.5 weeks of.
Yeah, save some in the tank for those.
Charlie, I'm following my coach's instructions.
Yep.
I'm following my coach's instructions, and you know what? I'm pulling a Charlie, and I'm wearing Vaporflies for all my workouts.
It's the only way to go.
It's just so much better, or Alpha Flies, but I kind of
the thing with those those Nike Carbons is that they say you can only get about 100 miles out of them until they start bagging out. So
I don't know, Charlie, how many miles do you have on your originals?
So I've heard that a lot, Chris, but for me the experience is like I've got 2 pair. I've got 1 pair that's got 600 miles on them, and they still feel way better than my other shoes. And I got another, these are Vaporflies. And I got another pair that's 450, and my Alpha Flies have 500 miles. And so they still feel good after 500. So I think that's a thing, probably not as good for racing, but even
big shoe is you a message.
But they're still really good for running in. Like, I think that, yeah, they're a bit more expensive, but like it feels good to run in them forever. Like I feel like these Vaporflies that have got 650 miles in them.
Yeah,
I think they're good for another 300-400.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm pushing, I think maybe 80 miles on my Vaporflies, and like, I don't know, I think they're still good. New. So they feel brand new.
They still feel good when you run. I guess that's what matters, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna torch them just because somebody said online that they only go to 100 miles.
No, and like, think of how good you feel. Okay, think of you're doing a tough workout tomorrow or whatever, tempo or something, and there's 2 pairs of shoes sitting there. There's your Nike Pegasus or your Brooks Glycerin or whatever, your mid-range shoe that you can wear for long distances, or there's your Vaporflies sitting right there. Like, even if they have 500 miles on them, you're definitely going to wear those. Maybe there's an injury argument that I don't know about that's going to wear down and you're more likely to be injured. Maybe, but definitely on performance, there's no argument, I think.
And it shouldn't be a sudden injury. I mean, if you start feeling a bit of a niggle, then it's probably because of the shoe and it'll come on slowly. I mean, if you listen to your body, you should probably just, make an adjustment there. But I mean, if you're not feeling, if your knees aren't sore, if your tendons aren't sore because of it, I mean, just keep them going.
Yeah.
Well, so me, actually, the Alpha Flies actually helped me through my last year I had plantar fasciitis, and they just felt so much soft. Just the Alpha Flies, not the Vapor Flies as much, but the Alpha Flies, like I started using them just because I could get through these longer runs with less pain.
Yeah.
But that, I feel like now, though, they do kind of feel a bit weird, that maybe if I use them too much, that they could potentially cause an injury somewhere else. So I'm wary of that a little bit, but
yeah, always good to switch them up for sure.
Yeah, but I'm going to reward myself with a fresh pair for Chicago.
I really want to try. There's 2 pairs I want to try, but I can't justify spending more on shoes. Like, I got way too many. I want to try the Metaspeed because apparently they're just as good as the Alpha Flies, or better or more natural. And then the Adidas Adios, the ones that we saw in Boston there that were sold out.
Yeah, we couldn't get our hands on them.
I'd love to try those, but it's at this point, like, I can't keep buying shoes every month.
I'm your little brother, Charlie, so I'm going to give you, I think you can justify spending it because you don't drink, you don't spend money on frivolous stuff. This is your one little thing that you go out to the bar to blow a ton of money. Think of how much joy.
Cycling.
So, I mean, I don't know, like, obviously
on both. Yeah.
Yeah. You could spend money on way worse things.
Yeah. And I know the kids are going to eat, and I know the mortgage is going to get paid. So I think you can, I mean, that's me telling you to spend more money on shoes. Maybe Cheryl doesn't want to hear that.
Because I was in love with the Nike products, Alpha Fly and Vaporfly, and then I got these Saucony Endorphin Pro.
Don't like them.
And to me, they feel way more natural, and I really like. After the bike, I like them because it's like, I don't know, they're easy to get on, and also they just feel kind of more natural for running.
Yeah, I really like the Sauconys a lot too. I've got the Speed 3s. Those have been really good for me. And what's the other one? Something 21. Anyways, it's kind of more of like a slow pace shoe, but I've been really liking the Sauconys a lot for my training.
Yeah, they're nice. I feel like they're really comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously Grains was asking me what shoe should I wear.
So I guess okay. So I guess whenever he asks a question, he texts us both and sees what the answers are, because he sent me the exact same text.
The shoe about training?
Which shoes to buy? Yeah.
What did you say?
I said, as long as you're comfortable in them, you should get.
We probably said the same thing. As long as you're comfortable.
I gave him 4 brands to race in, though. Different choices.
I said for him, for training, go to the Nike outlet or Adidas or one of these outlets and buy last year's models for $60 or $80. They're going to fit good. Or make sure they fit well, and then you're going to not spend $1 million, and maybe they'll be a great pair, maybe they won't, but you'll learn which brand you like over time, and that way you're not spending $1,000 on shoes on day one, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to spend $1,000 on shoes, but I get the feeling he doesn't. He's still running in the same pair of shoes that like his running shoes or his tennis shoes or whatever that he had from 10 years ago. J'ai dit, Grains, achète-toi une paire de souliers, voyons donc. You got to buy yourself a pair of shoes. It's ridiculous. Like,
I don't know if people can run in those things.
It's so important. I find shoes are insanely important.
In fairness, though, did you do the same? Did you run your first few jogs in your whatever tennis shoes you had there in the closet? I did that.
I did, yeah, and then I bought some like right away, but yeah.
I did that, and I forget what happened. I think my wife's like, I don't know. I don't think that's healthy. I think you should go get a pair. And she's
auto runner's knee.
Yeah. Wow. Just idiot.
What's that, Chris?
Auto runner's knee?
auto runner's knee right there running in.
I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing it's an injury.
Yeah, just like tendonitis in the knee. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I feel like just running on bad shoes is just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, especially that I was trying to do every single race as the Olympic gold medal final, right?
Yeah.
Your 1 mile PR.
My 1 mile PR. Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
So how much fun would a 1 mile PR attempt be, or painful? Anyways.
What are we supposed to do again, Charlie? Oh, I have an idea for you, Charlie. I have a great idea for you.
Okay.
What do you think about the fastest round of golf that we can run? We go out to Le Brocree before anyone goes, and you just take a driver 7-iron wedge or driver 7-iron putter. Chris, you must golf.
A little bit, yeah.
How fast do you think you could play around the golf, sprinting the whole way? Doesn't matter about the shots.
I'm a terrible golfer, so.
But you're like low 90s, like you're not like terrible. You're not like Derek Funk, but you're
my ball's easy to find because it doesn't go far. So I'd have that advantage.
Because someone sent me a link of the World Speed Golf Championship record, and it was like it's minutes. We've talked about this before, you and I, right, Charlie? Have we talked about this?
Yeah, it's minutes plus
minutes plus strokes, and the guy did 31 minutes, and he shot a 69. And someone's like, "Oh, you could beat this, Rob." I'm like, I couldn't shoot a 69. Like, not even.
You can't shoot 99.
I can shoot 99, but
so 0 minutes and 99.
Oh no, I combined. Yeah, no, I can't do that. Zero chance. So I was thinking that'd be fun. Me against you, and we just go and no.
Yeah, that would be actually. We should do that. Yeah,
we don't count our strokes. Well,
we count our strokes.
We do the real thing, like minutes.
Well, we do both, and then so yeah, that would be fun.
Simo, you can come if you want.
I'll be there.
Okay, because I know the owner of the course in Le Brocree quite well, and he'll get us on early, nice and early. So a totally unrelated topic, but stuff like that is fun, right? To see, because remember we used to go over. Maybe you don't remember. Well, for sure you do. You and I are fast golfers, right? We don't line up putts. We don't. But I always thought, what if I could actually run? But now I can run, right? And the other thing I started,
I'd just go one club.
7-iron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd take the 7-iron too.
Maybe who's carrying
maybe a putter too.
No, you need a putter.
I need a putter.
Yes. Who's carrying the 4 sleeves of balls that I'll need when I'm hitting 5 off the tee on 7 for putting 3 balls in OB?
You'd have to bring in a ball,
like a running belt,
ball vest,
or a ball vest, like almost like a running vest with balls in it. I think you're allowed to have a golf cart with accessories.
Oh, that's cheating.
Is it? Okay, maybe we can't have that. But I mean, we're hackers, so maybe we can. The other thing I was going to say, sorry, last thing is like these sports now that people are saying, oh, you'd be good at now that you're able to run. Have you thought of taking up sports now that you have kind of unlimited cardio?
Yeah, rowing.
Ultimate Frisbee, is that on your list?
Oh, I already am pretty good at ultimate. I just run.
Yeah, but can you catch?
I can catch, yeah.
I know you can catch.
Well, I can't throw. I just catch.
The fake.
What about you, Chris? Is there any sports that you feel like you've improved upon with the additional
well, I play a decent amount of hockey, and I feel like I can play forever, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I could play like 3 games in a row if I needed to, but I don't feel like I've improved all that much. Like I don't feel like I'm faster. But maybe I have.
I definitely feel faster at hockey anyways. Mm-hmm. I feel faster, and I feel like I don't get tired.
Yeah. But sometimes maybe I'm not working as hard as I think I am. Who knows, right? It's just tough to tell because it's beer league, but
yeah, exactly.
Okay, I had a dream the other day, and I started talking about this last week, but we got sidetracked, where it was at the GM meeting for the Hanover Taché Hockey League or whatever it's called. And the guy was asking for my rights in senior hockey. The guy from St. Anne was like, we got Rob Tatro, who used to play for Le Brocree. Whose rights is he? And I was like, oh, okay, someone's going to draft me. And then one GM's like, he's 43 years old. Who cares? They can have him. And I was like, oh yeah. Wait till I show them. I'm going to be a really good senior hockey. So I was dreaming about playing senior hockey. So my whole life I've been
dream big. Yeah.
Well, this is what the depressing part is. My whole life I've been dreaming about playing in the NHL, and my dreams, I don't know how yours go, Charlie and Chris. Mine are always the same. I'm short of lace. I forgot an elbow pad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've had that. I'm always.
Where am I?
Maybe I can make the second period.
I'll make the second period.
I'll make the second period.
And it's always my NHL debut, and it's always usually Montreal at home against Pittsburgh for some reason. Always against Sid, and I was supposed to be on the face-off, but I'm late, and my laces, and that's been my dream forever. And now
I've had a million chances to play in the NHL in my dreams, and I've never. I think I've skated, but one leg was shorter than the other, so I could barely move.
Broke a blade on your first stride.
Yeah, I've never. I forgot my helmet or whatever.
For me, like percentage of issues is like lace and or skate is like 70 to 80%.
Forgotten skate is the biggest.
Forgotten skate is number one, and then and lace. I'm always like, can I get a lace? I'm in the NHL here. Can someone get me a lace? And like nobody could ever get me a
broken lace. Broken lace is a common
broken lace. Oh, you're missing a game. You should have got to the rink earlier.
Oh, it's my turn. I've got everything together. I'm about to jump the bench. Oh, I woke up.
Yeah.
Finally, I'm gonna play against Sidney Crosby.
I'm gonna get a shift with 2 minutes left in the third here.
Yeah, because I usually make it out for the third, and then I wake up. Anyway, so now my dreams are playing in senior hockey in St. Anne. And I remember I woke up and I was like, I could still play senior.
Your dream standards keep going down.
Yeah, terrible dream standards. So I texted my buddy Greg Desorch, like, hey, I just had a dream where I was playing senior hockey in St. Anne. And he's like, you're an idiot or whatever. Like, no, but could I still play senior in St. Anne? Terrible dream standards. Okay. All right. Anything else, Simo, you want to chat about your race now that we've gone on a million tangents?
Well, no, I just, I wanted to know what you guys have going on next. And I know Charlie's got his Ironman California, and you've got your Chicago Marathon.
Yeah.
Maybe Treehorn, both of you?
I'm going to do Treehorn. I got the okay.
Yeah, I'm signed up for Treehorn.
Yeah. And I realize now that Grains and Paul, they get their news from us through this podcast. So, Paul, I'm announcing to you that I'm confirming that I will run with you in Treehorn. So,
I'm going to pace Paul. You pace. You're going to pace Frank.
Sure.
So are you going to drive out? Are you just going to drive out that morning?
I think so. What are you going to do, Charlie?
Yeah.
I want to sleep in my bed.
Get some McDonald's on the way. Just kidding. It's not going to happen.
And then I signed up this weekend for the Gimli or Grand Beach Sun 10K.
Oh, you're doing it? Can you pick me up?
So here's the thing. My wife's out of town with the kids this weekend. Yep. You know, in the old days, your wife's out of town with the kids. Well, for me, I had a drinking problem. So I'd be like, oh, right on. I'm going to get drunk all weekend. I'm going to get so drunk. It's going to be so fun. And I used to line up my entire weekend around golfing and getting drunk. And now I'm like,
now it's just running.
Here's my chance to do a race that she normally wouldn't allow me to do. So I don't have Simo's wife. Apparently she'd be in Grand Beach cheering me on.
No, Simo's wife runs better than Simo, I heard.
She's a really good runner.
Is she
I'm trying to convince her to do Chicago 2025 with me.
Charlie.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I guess
I'll do Chicago too, I guess.
Yeah.
What's the standard for Chicago? 310?
320, I think. RH.
For you, for old people.
No, 320 for you, I think.
Really? Okay.
And there's a lottery too, right?
Yeah, you can definitely get in via the charity bib route too.
Okay.
But it's going to cost you.
But Simo, you're doing the fire paramedic, right? Do you have a goal for that one?
Yes.
I'm gonna guess.
Goal 130. What did you say, Rob?
130.
Yeah, stretch goal 130.
That's what I was gonna guess.
But I feel like so all of these races, I was kind of thinking that it would springboard my running a little bit, and I feel like I've lost a little bit since, and I don't know, maybe I just haven't stopped. Like I haven't stopped to.
So it's the summer. First thing is it's the summer. Okay, you got to remember that.
Pep talk from Charlie here.
So no matter what you lose, summer's 20 seconds a mile harder. So these fall races, you're going to be faster already because it's going to get cooler. Mm-hmm. WFPS is a beautiful
fastest race of the year.
It's a great course. So So yeah, anyways, and then you've been training triathlon. Triathlon to me is not ideal training for running. I mean, it's good,
but it's
not
not lost. It's not lost.
It's not
building
lost,
that
but it's not
base.
as good as just training for running.
Agreed, but he's gonna do a couple tempos and you'll be right back there. Like you don't need
probably
12
what
weeks.
I need to do.
Yeah, and you're probably not recovered from Calgary, but don't forget, like once it gets cooler, you're gonna get faster.
Yeah, I hope that's the case, because I just feel like I've lost my running a little bit. I mean, long distance, slow pace, no problem, but just like the faster high end threshold stuff has been a bit of a challenge. But and it's just learning. It's my first full summer of training and doing races and all that. So
yeah, same here. I hit 180 something on my heart rate today.
That's high.
Pretty hot at Pride. I can still do that.
Patrick will say, "I've never seen you hit 180."
No, I hit 180 all the time.
Oh, okay. I need to tell you a story, Simo, about Charlie and what he just said. I wish he would practice what he preached a little bit more, because 2 weeks ago we're at the lake and he comes back from his race and I'm like, how's it going or whatever? And I wanted to tell this story last week, but I forgot. And I'm like, sucks. And like everyone's there. Uncle Mo's there and George. I'm like, oh, what sucks? He's like, I'm just the worst runner ever. I'm like just a terrible runner right now. And I was like, well, okay, relax. Like you're a very good. He's like, no, I'm, and he was just like down on himself. And like, if you knew Charlie, like he gets like this. He's like, oh, down on himself. I'm like, Charlie, you're the best biker I know by 10 million miles. You finished second in the provincial half Ironman, and you're going to qualify for Worlds in 2 months. He's like, yeah, but I'm a shitty runner or something like that. I forget how it goes. And then I felt like saying this exact speech that Charlie just gave to Simo. It's the summer. You're training for the other things. You're going to get a base. You're going to get it right back. And I think the answer is inside. I was extremely jealous of Charlie's. Well, jealous of Charlie's success in. Like I was like, man, I want to be that good at Ironman and at half Ironman. Like he's so good right now. He's the best biker I know. And I think I'm gonna put words in his mouth, but he was because we went different paths, right? He started training for this, and he was probably like seeing my longs and my fast finishes.
I'm seeing like, everyone crushing these run workouts, and I'm like, I'm so slow. Anyways, that's a terrible way of looking at it, but
that's all I want to say. You should listen to your own speech that you just gave Simo, Charlie, because
we have a hard time taking our own advice sometimes, eh?
Yeah. And my cousin George is sitting there, and he just did a 10K, and his personal best. He did like 58 minutes or something for a 10K, like really proud of himself. And he's just like, I wish I could run half your speed, Charlie, like kind of thing, as a joke, and just reminded us that you're good, Charlie. You're very, very good at this, and it's your own standards. Wow, I didn't mean to get too deep or too heavy there, but I just you're listen to your own advice is all I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And that's good for anyone else out there. It's tough in the summer. And it's gonna get a lot easier. Heat acclimatization. Does your watch tell you that you're getting better in the heat? Is that a thing for you guys?
Mine's telling me I'm getting worse.
Okay.
Mine keeps telling me every day that I'm getting worse. Yep.
Yeah.
My race predictor. Remember, we used to look at our race predictor.
Yeah. What does it say?
It's like 3:15 now for my marathon. And I told Patrick, I'm like, I guess I had a bad run or whatever. And I was like, Patrick, I think you've got my threshold set too high. I'm like a 3:30 marathoner now. But anyways.
Okay, this is by far the lowest I've ever seen my 5K. It's 18:38.
Yeah, but that's the worst part. It has no clue about my 5K.
3:10 it says for a marathon for me. Pretty sure I could beat that.
I think you're going to beat that in Chicago. That'll be nice and cool there too, and flat course, I think.
Yeah, it's a fast. I think it's the fastest.
Flat, yeah, Chicago's a fast one apparently.
Yeah, that'll be amazing.
It's fun to see the.
How can it give you a 3:10 marathon when you just ran a PR 12K?
It doesn't have that in one of his.
The 12K is
12K is not measured. 12K is not measured as one of his metrics. But since I started my build, all of my charts have.
I think it's pretty good, except that it's laggy. To me, it's a little takes too long to change. Like it really looks at your volume over a certain amount of time, I think. like I'm guessing here because they have never published how the algorithm works, right? But whenever my volume goes down, it correctly makes me slower, which to me is right. But when the volume goes up, like which you are right now, it slowly brings you up, but I think it doesn't bring you up fast enough to where
it doesn't take into account the base building either. Like when I was in London and I did like 250 kilometers there at 9-minute miles, but like a ton of base to ready myself for this build, it just kept
it doesn't like slow miles. It doesn't
like slow miles. It does not like slow miles.
But they are actually good.
But I guarantee you, I wouldn't have been able to do, like, I couldn't have been done a 14-mile fast finish after the day after triathlon if I didn't have that base, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So like, it should be an indicator. If someone's doing,
you find it.
Go ahead, Simo.
Do you find it really likes track workouts? Like if you're doing 400s, it really likes those numbers.
It loves those. Since I've been doing those, well, for me,
no, right now it hates all my workouts.
Yeah.
Okay, miserable Charlie.
It's telling you to cool down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing I wanted to ask you guys too is like I had a few people ask me recently after the last pod that like about the discipline side of things, like yeah, you have a coach and everything, but what do you do? Like, how's the discipline side of things for you guys? Like, it's one thing to just be like, yeah, we've got all these workouts and we're going to do all these workouts, but how's your mindset?
For me, discipline, getting the workouts in is the easiest thing. That takes no discipline because I love it so much. The discipline part for me is making the right decisions the rest of the day. So having a good day at work so that you don't get too stressed. And then eating properly. That's hard, especially when I feel like your kind of discipline goes down when you do a lot of workouts. So like eating properly to me is hard. And it's one of my biggest success factors. Like if I do it well, I do well. If I don't do as well. And then the third part is like getting to bed.
Sleep.
At the right time. So to me, those are the three hardest. Like getting the workouts is the easiest part. That's not where the discipline comes in. It's the rest. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I love it so much that I look forward to it. And what I do is I build out my, like I build out my week. So it's like sometimes there's 2 hours and this and that. And I don't always do what Charlie does and get up at 5 or 6. I sometimes do it midday. I sometimes do it, like I'll try to put it where it makes the most sense for my day, especially in the morning. Sometimes I'm on global news and I can't move that. So like I don't have time to get around that or whatever. So I kind of enjoy the planning aspect of the workout. Okay, I'm going to do it in this chunk and then I block it off and then it's like my sacred time. And I've never had that issue with discipline for some reason. And I do consider myself lucky because I've talked to a lot of people. Charlie, I think we might be different than others in that sense, is that it's I guess it's tough to just get up and do your workouts every day, but I love them. I struggle like Charlie on the other things. Maybe we're related. I've been so good at getting to bed.
Consistency is tough, right? For a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that we debated this last week about building your own program versus not. I love that I've removed that burden from my shoulders, so I don't have to think about that. So that's a benefit for me, the way I think. And then all I got to do is show up, and it's like I'm competing against myself, and I love that. Plus, there's this thing in the back there. It's shining, it's shimmering. It's the Chicago Marathon. I see it. It's like over there, and like I'm going towards there.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you? Yeah. How, like, do you ever have don't want to do some workouts or?
Well, I just know that when I decided I was going to do this, that like I'm pretty competitive, and if I wanted to reach certain times and do well, that I had to be all in, and that came with a lot of sacrifices, like in your personal life. Like you really have to like eliminate a lot of things that in your day-to-day that like if they're not going to help you sleep better, if they're not going to help you perform better the next day, like I find like sleeping is just like super important, because if you're going to wake up and feel like crap, you're not going to want to do the workout. And I kind of try to get really good at all that boring stuff, and try to embrace the boring. It's been like a pretty big identity shift too, right? Like just really like putting all my time into this. So I know, and then like I know that if I don't do it, you're not gonna get better. It's like it's cut and dry. So am I perfect? No, but I feel like the growth has come a lot in the days that you wake up or you can't wake up, you don't want to go, you get out there, you want to turn around. Um, but if you wake up and you complete your workout on the days that you really don't feel like it, I feel like those are the days that you grow the most. And if you add up all those days over time, I feel like it adds up to a lot of extra volume that you wouldn't have done before. And I just, the cost of regret of not finishing your workout is just like way more severe to me than sucking it up and finishing it when you're tired or when you don't feel like it. Um,
Yeah.
so for me, it's just you feel so good when you finish a workout you don't want to do. It's just you never regret it when you're done. And I've come a long way. Like I've turned back, years back before I started. I just turn around all the time on runs, and I just don't want to do that anymore. I'm done with that. So I just kind of made that decision. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but
I don't think anyone is, right?
that's
It's a
kind of
battle.
that's kind of my mentality.
Yeah, one of the things I found early on, like on that note of like when you're not feeling good and your work, like I allow myself to go slightly slower or easier on days where I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
In the for consistency sakes.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think that helps if you allow yourself. If you're not feeling it, like just don't go as hard,
Yeah.
or even yeah.
Yeah, and I try to set the conditions like throughout the day, like we were kind of talking about, just like, you know, making sure your stuff's laid out, the day before, making sure you know what you're gonna eat in the morning, and just making sure you're organized so that you wake up and you're not like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I call that eliminating the friction or
eliminating the
greasing
friction. Yeah.
greasing up the so basically it's not a chore. It's not a mental chore, at least as soon as you
Mhm.
wake up, you know exactly and you're out the door. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's tough with
Yeah.
the bike sometimes, but
It's tough. It's that's it. It's extremely tough with the bike. Like, Charlie, you and I have been kind of biking the same route a little bit this summer, and I initially left from my house, and then I realized like I'm coming back through traffic and this and that. And I'm like, I can't, flat tires and
yeah.
getting, almost ran over or whatever. And so I'm like, I can't do that anymore. So even prepping all my stuff in the morning for the bike, because I don't have a garage, so I have to have everything indoors. And then in the morning, I'm hauling stuff to the car, to the vehicle, and then I got to drive out. So it's a lot of extra steps
Overhead.
that can
Yeah,
be,
yeah. There's a lot of workout overhead for
yeah.
bikes. I find like even, oh yeah, a future episode we're gonna talk about my disc wheel failure at some point. But
Yeah. 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 And it's just like it could be a barrier to people that, to some people that it's just a lot of work, but I try to embrace it, and it's just part of it. And you got to do it. And if you're not willing to do it, it's just you're not gonna get out there. So
That's why I like the treadmill and the trainer so much. There's
but okay,
no
but with the bike, then you're out there and it's easy to get a 2 hour workout, and so yeah, you invest a bit more time, but it's like you can get a longer workout in, I think, with the bike, so it's not so bad.
mhm,
Hey,
mhm.
Simo, can I ask you something? You've triggered something. So you mentioned that you're never gonna like you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna turn around on runs anymore. You don't want to not get better. You want to continue to get good. So have you thought about what the next decade or 20 years of your life looks like? And are you doing this for the next 20 or 30 or the rest of your life? Or are you gonna do an Ironman when you're 80? Like, have you thought about that?
Well, yeah, I have. And I think this discipline, kind of starts with a bit of an obsession. And um, I think I think all of this has given me something that I didn't know I would have for my future. Like, I always loved being like working out and all that and staying in shape, but like this has provided me something that I think I could do probably for the rest of my life. Like, I mean, am I going to do a triathlon when I'm 80 years old? Maybe not, but like, will I be able to go cycling? Will I be able to go for a run? Like, who knows, right? But
Whatever the equivalent is at that age,
swimming or whatever the case may be. And I mentioned this before, I think, to you guys. It just seems like it's just endless care packages that's been delivered to me since I've started this journey. And I'm just really looking forward to the next 10 years, and like seeing where you guys are at. It's just it gives me a lot of encouragement too. Like, if I can get anywhere close to where you guys are at, I mean,
dude, you're there now.
That's a huge win. And I'm super excited. This winter, I'm really looking forward to getting into a new bike potentially, and just planning out the spring, summer, fall for next year. I'll just have a little bit extra time to think about what I want to do. And like, now that I know that I really love this, and I mean, it's easy when you're obsessed with it. It makes everything a lot more easier. It's just, it kind of eliminates any questions moving forward for me.
Charlie, do you think about that? We've never talked about this, you and I.
Yeah, I think about it, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of just want to be in shape and able to do things when I'm older. So like talking to my parents, and they're going to take up swimming, which is incredible. So I'm like, swimming, I know I talk about how much I hate swimming all the time, but at the same time, I'm so happy that like I can actually swim now. Like before I couldn't swim, so it's grateful for that. And then like I try stuff. So I'm going to try being a goalie next year in hockey, because I've got confidence in myself, so it's like, if you can kind of point A to point B, and there's a big gap, and you don't know how you get there, but you've done it before. Like you've done these things where you don't really know how you're going to do it, but you eventually do it. It kind of gives you confidence in that you can try other things, which to me is amazing.
Remember when Louis Cormier, episode 47, if you haven't checked out that episode, that's my favorite episode ever of the podcast. Remember when he's like, why did you decide to do an Ironman? You asked him that, Charlie. And he's like, well, how did you know you could do one, or something like that? And he said, well, I just saw that guy do it, and if he can do it, why can't I do it? And it just completely eliminated any obstacles every time he saw. So like, someone ran the Appalachian Trail, and he's like, well, if that guy did it, I can do it. Why can't I do it? And it's like, just eliminating obstacles is like, if someone else can do it. So I like that piece of what you just said, Charlie. And then I think, like, as we get older, so like Claude always tells me, like, he's worried about me. My dad, he's like worried about me, because he's like, he's worried that I'm like I'm raising the bar, and then like I'm gonna have nothing else to raise, and I'm gonna, like, I don't know, end up blowing myself up or killing myself or falling off a mountain or something stupid, because like I'm pushing the limits, right? In his words. And I told him, like, I disagree. I think I'm gonna find new races, new challenges.
There's going to be something else that's going to come up that you're going to love, and there'll be offshoots of what you're doing. Totally.
Yeah. And if not, I'm just going to continue to, there's so many things we can do in these little sports, right?
Yeah. 25K swim.
25K swim. There was a 5K swim in Pinawa on Saturday.
Yeah, I know.
How did you not tell me about this?
Oh, I found out from Grains this week, and I was like, what? Had I known, I would have put it in my calendar, because I was like, I need to like focus on a swimming race so that I get better at swimming for a while.
I almost went and did it that Saturday morning, just see what I could do, like just find out, can I run? Can I swim 5K? I think I can, but what would that look like? And I called the lady one, and I'm like, I'm thinking of doing this 5K. She's like, perfect, you're in. This is the day before. You're in. What time do you want to run it? I'm like, isn't it a race? Like, she's like, no, you can do it anytime you want.
You get a personal kayak that does it.
Personal kayak. I had no clue. She's like, have you swam before? I'm like, yeah, I've swam a little bit. And I ended up not doing it because we didn't have time to because this was like 12 hours before the race that I found out about it. But that would be fun, like a long swim. Is there a swim like on the Red River that we could do? Like,
there are some, like in Ontario, there's like 10 and 15 and 20K swims.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not there yet.
I think that would be super fun, like you go out there and I think you just attach one of those belts with the floaties, right? And like if you need to stop and take a break, you hold on to it. I think you could probably go for a pretty long time.
It would become like running, I think, because when I did my swim this weekend, for the first time in a while that I remember, it felt like I was just running. Like it felt like my stroke was I was just running. It was just, I can do this for a while. Like this, I mean, it was only 22 minutes, so it's tough to compare with, but like I had no panic.
Like Rob, like I think to answer back to your question though, it's like it gives you these opportunities to try different things out, I think, in the next and just go with the flow, right? But yeah,
that's what I was trying to say. But Charlie didn't like where I was going with that story, so he cut it off. No more of your Pinoa stories.
Yeah, sorry, can you finish your Pinoa?
No, it's a brutal story.
But if you guys do want to do a 10 or 15K swim,
I think Charlie's serious.
I wouldn't be closed-minded about it, that's for sure.
You're serious about it,
I think summer 2025 I will do that, but I'm not 100% sure yet there, but I think that might be a thing that I want to do.
Explain A swims for the viewers, Charlie, or A races, and just that concept, what it means.
Well, it's the race that you care about. I
don't
know.
How many do you have in a year? How often
you try to peak for a specific race, right? So like this year for me, I had 2 A races, we'll call them. And one was Boston and the other one was this Ironman California. Right? Everything in between to me, it was like not as important. And I'm just trying to peak for those races.
Okay.
And I think A races people will have 1 or 2 per year, I think I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I would agree. Like Calgary was my A race. But yeah, now that I don't have anything signed up for, it's like I'm going to be looking for my next A race, that's for sure. And then there'll be all these other kind of B and C races in between.
So I didn't know about this A race concept thing. Like I kind of knew about it, but I just thought you sign up for, like, I love doing races so much. You just sign up and you do something else, but like you can't recover. What's your Charlie number that takes you like 6 weeks to recover from a max effort like a real race?
Yeah, what I found after marathons take longer to recover, I find, than anything else. And it's 4 to 6 weeks till you're back to, and I haven't been back to where I was pre-Boston yet, but I think it's just because I shifted my training. But let's say I would have kept running, it takes 4 to 6 weeks to get back to where you were prior.
So you're doing Boston next year, so that's coming up 8 months.
Yeah, well, I'm not 100% sure decided, but yeah, that's what.
When's the application deadline? It's coming up, isn't it? October, November?
It's September.
Yeah, okay. So you'll be by yourself there with mini grains.
I'll be going with my wife, but it'll be nice.
Okay, all right. Okay,
yeah,
so A race
for me this year, A races were Birds Hill, then the marathon, then St. Mal, and they all happened to be within
3 weeks.
Yeah. So that was a little tough to juggle too. Like, which one am I?
Yeah, those were back to back, right?
Yeah.
So the point of having A races is that you can like build up and get a big peak of volume, and then you can taper for a couple weeks and like peak for those races. That's why they're called A races. So the way you did it is not ideal, Chris.
Yeah, well, it's such a short season in Manitoba, like you got like 2 months and it's over.
Hey, you know what your A race could be next year for a half marathon? The CMV Canada half marathon in March next year. It's going to be the first half marathon on the calendar.
Count me in.
March 30th or something like that, like kind of early in the season. You want to get a half marathon in, boom. And that half marathon doesn't have to distract you from anything.
4.9 miles. So no problem.
No,
yeah,
totally.
I'd love to do it. Yeah, it's like 12 and a half miles. That's how we do it.
I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. It's going to be awesome.
You know what?
March is a good time for
March is a great time.
I think so too.
It could be, there could be snow, but usually not.
What's the worst that can happen if there's snow?
Yeah, even if there's snow.
That is spring break territory, March 30th.
Oh, yeah. It is.
So
We might have to move that.
No, spring break is slightly before that, I think, Rob.
I think
this year it's that. This year it's that time.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
it's one of the 2 weekends.
Mm-hmm. I know because we're planning on going down south that week.
Every
teacher, so
yeah, I won't even be around.
Searching for races in Arizona doesn't exist.
That's too hot in that period, or
I just can't find anything. Yeah.
Oh, not in March. Yeah, probably not in March.
No.
Well, December there is one in Tucson.
Yeah.
That's the one we did in December.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing in Arizona in March. There's a lot, right? Like their schedule's heavy in September, October, November. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's lots. There's lots for sure.
Okay.
Well, good luck to make your own race.
Yeah, well, and I'm doing a race somewhere in November, December, down south somewhere. I'm doing it with like either my cousins or my friends or my run club or buddies. We're gonna catch like a Green Day concert or something, and we're gonna do a run, and we're gonna go see a stand-up comedian, and we're gonna come back. That's what we're gonna do. So
nice.
I'm organizing that. I gotta put it together there, but that's happening. That doesn't have to be an
I'll go for the 5K.
Yeah, you do the 5K. Yeah.
Yeah, wait.
Don't wanna ruin your training. No, it'll be after your Ironman.
Yeah.
Charlie, how many Ironmans have you done?
Just one.
So, and which one was that?
Texas. Same. Well, Rob's second one I did with him. Yeah.
And Rob, your first one was Des Moines?
Des Moines, yeah.
Then you did Texas, and then you did Nice?
No, I did Lake Placid.
Oh, Lake Placid. Right.
Yeah, so when you were talking about your run for Calgary, it really reminded me of my run for Texas because I was like just trying to keep moving and it was really hard.
I bet. Did you have your tri bike for that race?
Yeah. But I didn't. Yeah, I had a sail.
Yeah, it helps. You had a sail. Why is that? You didn't?
No, I'm just kidding. Like my clothes was like
brutal
really
CDA. Brutal.
I had really baggy clothes, and I was sitting pretty much upright, and like I had lots of power. Like I think my average power was like 225 watts for an Ironman, which is like really
solid.
Yeah, but I was still really like I still wasn't fast, you know.
No shortage of leg strength. No shortage of leg strength.
Yeah. No, that is solid numbers.
Yeah. So if I do the same power this year, I think it's gonna be pretty fast.
What was your power for Hecla?
255 average.
Yeah, that's good. Like I've been learning a lot about wattage and CDA and all that since like I guess the springtime, and I went and got a bike fit done, and this guy was blowing my mind with all this information about how you can save on rolling resistance and your
the tires make such a big difference.
It was insane. So I mean,
where did you go, Chris?
I went and saw a guy named Dustin at Bikes and Beyond.
Oh, Bikes and Beyond. I really like that store. I went there the first time last week and they were really good service.
Amazing. Every time I've been in there, like no free ads here, I guess. But they've been what's that?
We'll send him an invoice for the time talking about them here.
They've been amazing, and this bike fit like blew my mind. Like I was like, I wasn't sure what to expect going in. I just knew it would help me because putting your seat at wherever you think it should be and all that is probably not the best way to go. And he made some major adjustments and taught me, and then wrote me a huge email about what I could do to save some wattage on my bike. And I implemented some of those things, and I've been learning lots about it. And it's fascinating, and it's never ending, as you know.
Yeah, no. So every time I figure out a thing that can make me go faster, by the time I implement that thing, I figure out another thing that can make me go faster. So like right now, I know there's two things that are wrong with my bike. One is the crank. If I were able to shorten the crank a little bit, I would be able to put my seat a little bit higher and I'd be more aerodynamic, would be one thing. And then the second thing is my gear. I need a bigger chain ring because I'm usually on like the third or fourth gear, or second or third gear from the top, and it's slightly crooked, so I'm losing mechanical efficiency. So like every time there's like it, not much, but a little bit.
Still though, yeah, no, every marginal gains are very important, especially at that pace.
Speaking of shorten the crank, did you guys catch the buzzer beater finish in the men's pursuit at the Olympics? So they want to have their seats so high. Have you seen these guys? Their seats are so high. They're doing pursuit. The guy fell off his seat and he couldn't get back on. He couldn't get off his bike. So they lost the Olympic gold medal because the guy fell off his seat. And then there he is riding, and he's like
oh yeah, you sent me that. That was funny. Yeah.
I sent a video to Charlie. I'm like, this guy can't get back on his seat, and he's like, his feet are sideways, and he's trying to get up.
I thought it was just because he was tired and he couldn't get back on his. I thought he was just dead.
Kurt Harnett or whoever was explaining it on the analyst is like, no, their seats are so high and they're so angled that if you fall off the seat, there's no possible way for you to get back up there. I found it to be ridiculous. So when I heard that, I thought of you and your crank, Charlie. Your shortened crank.
Yeah.
I've never done any of this. So this is what kind of excites me. I think that if I actually spent a bit of time on making myself more efficient and a better biker, I think I could probably be half decent.
Yeah.
And if I just maintain my run, I have a chance of doing a half decent time. So
you will.
That's why I'm a little excited.
Yeah. Yeah. And like he asked me what my goals were, and I just like didn't know what he meant. I'm like, well, I want to go faster. He's like, well, do you want to feel more fresh for the run? You know, do you want to be more aerodynamic? Do you want to be more powerful? And I said, well, I haven't thought about any of that. I
want all three of those things.
I want all three.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, well, I'll meet you halfway. So basically he made me a little bit more aerodynamic than I was before, which was, I have no idea. And he made me a lot more comfortable so that when I come off the bike, you are a little bit more fresh. And he says that makes a huge difference. And I definitely felt it. I felt a big difference.
So who is this guy? I'm going to go see him. What's Dustin?
You got to. His name is Dustin. I think it's Dustin White. I could be wrong on the last name,
okay.
But he was like, I don't have enough time to talk about how good that was. Like that was.
Well, now his calendar is booked for the next 3 months because
of how big this episode is going to be.
Yeah, like he had some lasers and all these cameras, and he was writing notes, and like the feedback after with the email that he sent me and the PDF document that he sent me of all the things that I can do moving forward to save watts was huge. Like I changed to those Continental GP 5000, same ones you have, Charlie. I went he told me to go from the 23 millimeter to the 28. And I noticed like a huge difference in my like confidence on turns and just like rolling resistance. And I switched to latex tubes, which are a bit of a pain, but again, marginal gains with rolling resistance. You really have to be on top of your PSI with those because they do go down. So you have to load them up before every ride. But he was telling me about like insoles for your shoes that help save you watts, and I don't know. There's a whole list of stuff. So it was.
So how tight do you put your shoes when you bike?
Well, in the race, I just put them as tight as I can because I kind of only got one chance, right? And then I'm not really tinkering with them, so it's as much as I can get. But not super tight.
So an interesting thing happened to me. So I used to always put it really tight, and when I go for my normal run, I put them on tight. And my feet kind of hurt at the end. But for Hecla, I was just in a hurry and I didn't really put them on tight. They were actually pretty loose. And I had one of the best bike rides ever. So I'm now thinking maybe I need to just put them looser. And it's going to be, it obviously doesn't affect my power that much because it was pretty good. And it was way more comfortable. So
do you think he says you had a little bit more play with your feet? You think that's why?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He also messed with my clips too. Like he changed my clips just to be a little bit more efficient, make sure I had enough power. That made a huge difference. So there's just a lot of minor adjustments. I was there for like 3.5 hours, and like the whole time my eyes
and
were just.
This was for a bike fit?
It was just, I brought my, I scheduled the bike fit, brought it in, and
like $200.
I think it was 300 and something, plus a couple like stem upgrades that he made on the spot. Like he actually shortened my step. Yeah, but $350, something like that. Yeah. Then it was like the best money I've spent so far. It's unbelievable.
That and the tires.
And the tires, yeah. That's never ending.
Yeah, but the tires do make it a real big difference, though.
Yeah, and I put a bottle cage between my aero bars. He adjusted my aero bars a little bit too, and I put the 2 bottle cages behind my seat, which helps with aero instead of being like under your top tube or whatever it's called. So it's just, I mean, you're saving a little bit of time, which is what it's all about. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it is a race.
Yeah, it's a race.
Yeah. So Rob, get in there too.
Well, yeah, this is almost disheartening for me. Just listening to you two talk about this, I realize like how far behind I am, how little I know about biking, and how much I have to learn. It's a little disheartening. It's almost discouraging me from doing it. There's so much to learn. But
no, I'll help you. We'll just do one thing at a time.
Well, when I first started learning about it, I knew absolutely nothing, and it kind of snowballs pretty quick.
Yeah, I did 4 Ironman on my own, and I know nothing about all this. So it's almost embarrassing that I didn't do a little bit of research and check on YouTube and a couple videos. But anyways, whatever. It's how I wanted to do it.
Yeah,
I'm stubborn, I guess.
Yeah, no, there's no right or wrong way.
Okay, I got to run here. It's just about it's getting late. So, Simo, here's what we'll do. We'll bring you back in just for our self-esteem. It's so good to have Simo pump us with compliments all the time, Charlie? We'll bring him back in at some point just to have him pump us with some compliments. This was definitely going to be a 2-parter episode for sure. So we'll get it released in 2 parts. And I just want to thank you for your time, Simo. Looking forward to following you on Strava, and looking forward to seeing what's next.
And thank you guys for letting me hijack your podcast, and for all your time too. You're a huge inspiration, and
look at him.
You help us. Compliments. You're huge advocates in the community. I know that, and you help me realize we're all not that crazy,
No, that's right.
I want to say thanks, Simo, and I could talk about triathlon with you guys forever. Sounds like so.
Yeah, me too. Like when we got off the pod the other day, I was like, I didn't even talk about 95% of the things I thought we were going to talk about.
We'll bring you on again, though.
Well,
you can come on again.
It's been great.
It eases the tension between Charlie and I, so there's less arguing.
Yeah. I'm a good buffer. Yeah,
okay, well, thank you for the time, Simo. Subscribe, guys. Follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. Take a sec and write us a review on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube, wherever you watch. That means a lot to us. And we will see you guys in the next video. Don't go anywhere, Simo. We'll see you guys in the next video.